Hi, guys. Welcome back to Wellness Wednesday on the Lotus Lounge Podcast, the place where we reset, reflect, and hear from voices who are walking their own unique journeys towards healing, growth, and discovery. Today, I'm joined by Rob B., a true seeker of self-joy, self-peace, and deeper understanding of himself and those around him. Rob surrounds himself with people who challenge him, teach him, and help him elevate in life, creating more happiness, laughter, and meaning along the way. Today, our topic is Journey over Destinations, Life's Little Victories. Rob is going to remind us that life isn't just about the big milestones, it's about celebrating the small wins, the everyday lessons, and the moments that shape us, because sometimes those little victories are what carry us through. I'm so excited to dive into this conversation with him. Guys, please welcome Rob B. to the podcast. Hi, Rob.
What's up, Uma? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to have you here today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling exceptional, actually. It's been a very good day.
It's been a very good day, and I love your backdrop. I want to go see this bridge now.
I look forward to going to see that bridge. I got it on my list of travel plans for the next 2 years. But I got a whole tour of places that I'm going to in the next 5 years.
Guys, he really is, because if you don't know, Rob is my co-host on the Meet Me live streaming app. We have a show we've been running for years now called The Great Debate. And we came back from summer and we have not yet restarted our show, but thankfully we will be restarting our show coming up on, well, it's already passed. It was Monday, October 6th. We started our first show and we changed the show to call it The Lotus Pond. From the mud comes the message. So I'm glad that despite all your travels, right, you're able to create some time for us for that show, because I love that show. It's close to my heart.
Oh, I love that show. That show actually is one of I think it's the first show that I actually wound up doing a collaboration with, which actually sparked the idea for a bunch of different collaborations over time. So right now I'm doing 2, maybe 3 collab shows right now.
I love that. I love collaboration. So this is right up your alley. You're a great co-host, I have to say.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into our topic today. Okay, journey over destinations, life's little victories. So I know in life, as people, as adults, we all have challenges, right? Whether it's just the actual job, the relationships, our health as we get older, aging process, adulting, right? Everything in between. And you're telling us to focus on life's little victories. So I want to start this podcast by asking you, as much as you talk about celebrating the small victories in life, can you share a recent small win of your own? And how did it shift your perspective in alignment with what you talk about?
So for me, a small victory would just be making connections. Just going out and connecting with people with no overall big purpose or grandiose idea, just being your general self. So a small victory for me would probably be people reaching out to me that I probably haven't talked to in maybe 2-3 years. I just got reconnected with one of my comedy buddies. So they want me to do some comedy shows. I got reconnected with one of my karaoke people. So they want to hang out a little bit. And I think I just got reconnected with an acquaintance of mine. So for that, we're actually just expanding our individual lives and bringing those together to formulate connections and mainly just being how is your life actually going? Because for me, I think it's more along the lines, like you said, relationships, work, and all that stuff, and it's all the big things. But did you wake up today? Did you do you have your legs? So did you walk a mile or half a mile? Did you walk from the parking lot on the far end to your office door? Like the things that we take for granted are the small victories that we should be celebrating. You know?
I love that because I never thought about people from my past coming back as a small victory, but I can see it, right? Because when we fall out with people, we don't really feel good about it. And nobody, I mean, at the core of us, we're all love, right? So we don't really feel good when we're at odds with people, or even if they're not at odds, they just kind of fell out of our life, as some of your buddies have fell out of your life. So them coming back, that's a really good way of looking at a small victory. Yeah, I love that. So you talk a lot about, this destination, and it's not the most important thing. It's really the journey. And in the journey, little things that come up is lessons for us. Like you tell me all the time, every day is a lesson. Every situation you go through is a lesson. How do you personally make sure you graduate from these lessons instead of repeating the same course? Because I'm thinking about the people that come back in your life. You sound like you have some good people in your life that you just kind of fell out of sorts with. But what if, let's say you and I had a falling out and it was bad, but we were close friends. And after 5-6 years, I come back around, right? How do you personally make sure that you graduate from the lesson instead of repeating the same course?
Oh, okay. So with that being said, for me, I take each moment as it is. So the person that I am today is not the person I was 10, 15 years ago. Like, for example, I have a couple of people in my life right now that I'm cordial with, but we had a falling out some years ago. Um, I don't treat that person the same way that they were when we parted ways, because time can change everything if you allow it. So that person from the moment that we parted ways to now can be a totally different individual. So I never start from where we were. I start from where we at, and then we grow and build from there. Like I have a saying. Oh well, I don't have a saying, but there's a quote that I came across that said, "You can never go back and change the past, but you can always start from now and create a new ending." So I always start from now in all my relationships, whether it's past, present, or future. I'm always looking at them from this point on and then measuring them from how they act, what they say, what their beliefs are, and if they correlate with mine. If they don't correlate with mine, I, this is one of the life little lessons that I've learned. I don't put a lot of effort into it. Like the amount of effort that people put into trying to change others to see their way of viewing, I find personally to be a waste of time. Because if you're strong in your stance and they're strong in your stance, then uh, you're just the rock hitting the wall. So I just so now I actually go ahead and I'll go, how can I understand this person and get this person to understand me? Like we may not agree on things, but like I'm going to share with you how I live, what my viewpoints and perspectives are, and then you'll have a better understanding of me, and then I'll listen to you and have a better understanding of you. But a lot of people today, over the last several years, they tend to not want to listen. I'm a fly on the wall. So like I hear a lot of stories. I hear a lot of things that go on between people who may even dislike each other. Like I have people in my life that I get along with, and those people don't get along with each other. My standing rule is that as long as you don't bring that aspect of your life into my domain, we can be cool. Like, I don't care if you have an issue with this person, unless they did something like horrendously egregious. But if their beef is just something that doesn't disrupt the flow of how I live, or what I'm trying to build, then that's the beef between them two. They have to figure that out and settle it. My overall purpose is to spread joy and happiness. And I can't spread joy and happiness if your main objective is to come into my domain and create negativity. It just doesn't work that way.
That is so relevant on streams. Guys, if you don't know that, like, the culture of live streaming, I think they're going to write books about it. They're going to make movies about it. It's so different. And what Rob just said is a common occurrence on streams. You can have a live stream, and have regular people that come there. And then if two people have a falling out, they want you to take a side. And it's the wildest thing to me, because we're adults, right? Like, we can have our own friends, and we can be friends with people that may not be friends with you, but it doesn't dull the friendship that we have. So that was always very strange to me about this picking sides. It sounds a lot like you're advocating for us to have grace with one another. So if we have someone from the past return, someone that maybe hurt us, but they come forward and say, hey, I messed up, I'm sorry, I would like to be your friend again, or whatnot. It sounds like you're advocating for us to have grace with that person and then try it out. Like you said, don't look at the past, take them from where they are right now. And then if they hurt you again, then there's the lesson, right? Am I right on that?
Yeah, well, that's like, I want people to have grace with others, but more importantly, you should have grace with yourself. There's so many people that I know who, especially in the stream world, who basically don't really believe in themselves, so they kick themselves, or what do they call it, do self-deprecation. Now, as a dude who's been in the comedy realm, like, I get the comedy aspect of doing self-deprecation, but I really listen to people, and I'm like, you're not really joking, you're serious about that.
Right.
You got to figure that out. I'll give you an example. I was talking to someone a couple of months ago, and we just wound up striking up a conversation. And I asked him if I can ask him a question, which is also important because I never give out advice, or I don't give out unsolicited advice, I should say. Like, I don't give out opinions or perspectives, even if I think they can utilize it. Like, I'm a person who believes that person has to be willing to receive. If they're not willing to receive it, then, like, I'm not giving it. So unless they ask me or I feel strongly about it, I will shift the conversation into a way where I can ask them about if they want my unsolicited opinion, or not unsolicited, but like overall objective about whatever situation they're in. But I asked a person recently basically what their why was, like, what is it that they dream about, or what their passion is, and they didn't know. And they were like, that's a hard question to answer. And I said, well, yes, it's a hard question to answer, but you also got to keep in mind that it's not a question that you need to answer right away. Like, this is not the SATs. Like, there's no right or wrong. These are just questions that I ask myself to really get into self-growth. I'm really about self-growth and learning more about yourself and the reasons why you do things. A lot of people in the stream world, I've come across a number of people, I'm sure you come across a number of people who don't know why they do it. They're just doing it because,
they want to make money.
Tells them to. Not even that. Like, there are a number of people who want to make money, and I get that. But there's a number of people who are on here just because, like, it's the new toy, basically. So, like, it's the new thing to do. Like, we used to go out to bars or clubs or social events and stuff like that, and now people just log in and go live
and socialize.
And a number of people get into a space here where they're operating in in a lane that is not really meant for them. Like, for example, if you're on here to make, if you say you're on here to make money, and I come across you and I'm like, you're not really on here to make money. Like, you might be on here to date, or you might be on here because like uh, you're looking for new friends or companions, whatever the case may be. You're going to operate in the money space because that's the way the app wants you to operate. But that's not the space for you. So therefore, you need to take what you learn and then create something new out of it that's specific for you. A lot of people don't do that. They just copy paste. Yes.
That is such a truth. I love how much you talk about the journey, and this is where a lot of our conversations focus around, is the journey in life, because you always remind me, like, Uma, it's not the destination, it's the journey. And I'm curious, what was the turning point for you? Because most people are focused on the destination, let's be real. But was there like a specific moment in your life when you realized it was the journey that was the most important thing? Because I noticed that you're very observant, right? Like, you pay attention to people, you want to know their why, you want to know why they do what they do. You're always showing up as being present, being aware. So this is good, which I like, as a metaphysical coach and a soul alignment teacher. I want to know, for you, can you remember the moment when you realized it was the journey that was more important than the destination?
I would say for me, it was probably like in 2020 or 2021, when I started doing workouts and like getting into fitness. And the turning point for me was why I was getting into fitness, as opposed to, because most people want to get into fitness to either bulk up or lose weight. Um, and for me, it was just the challenge of whether I can do it or not. So like, I didn't go out and buy a bunch of gym clothes. Like, I wore church clothes. Like, I wore whatever I had because I'm not there to impress everybody at the gym and whatnot. Um, I did workouts from home because for me, it's all about the mindset. Like, a lot of people say that they can't do this or they can't do that. I'll even say it from time to time. Uh, so I have to work on changing my mindset for whatever task that I'm trying to accomplish. But it was the fitness thing that really changed my mind about it, because a lot of people will talk about how much weight they're losing or how much weight they gain. And I looked at it from a different point of view, where it was like, that your body, not everybody on the planet has a reset button, where like, okay, cool, we're all gonna lose weight at the same time, the same rate and whatnot. Like, every individual is different. So like, that's why every food regimen is different for everybody. Every workout regimen is different for everybody. So for me, it was not really about losing or gaining weight. It was more about like, can I do this many reps uh, during this workout session? And then if I hit that rep, can I go farther than that? Because then I started realizing, like, it's not about the weight loss or the weight gain, because that's going to happen naturally. It was just more like, will I come up and show up and be consistent on just doing the work, as opposed to just worrying about what the scale says? Because your body's going to fluctuate regardless. Like, you can lose 30 pounds today and gain 10 pounds tomorrow. But you know what's the funny thing about it? People will focus on gaining the 10 pounds and never really think about the 20 pounds that they lost because of the added 10 pounds. Like, people don't think about it on the flip side. Like, you could have gained the whole 30 back, but you only gained 10. So like, it's a victory. That's one of the small victories that I talk about. Like, you guys, most guys and girls don't really think about looking at things from a different perspective, like looking at a bigger picture kind of view, because you're focused on the destination. I need to lose 50 pounds before this wedding. I need to lose 30 pounds before this one. So it was a fitness journey that changed my whole perspective on how to operate in certain rooms and certain scenarios. And then I just learned to sit back and just let people be them. Uh, I think DMX said it best, where he basically said he trusts people to be themselves. Like he trusts a snake to be a snake. He trusts a liar to be a liar. He trusts a thief to be a thief. But know those people when you see them. Like they have characteristics. Like I don't distrust nobody. I just trust them to be the person that they meant to be at that particular time.
I am so glad that you mentioned DMX because he's like one of my favorite rappers of all time. And I have a saying that closely mirrors his saying. So, you just made me feel so happy because my saying is that I trust people to do what is in the best interest for themselves. So when people ask me, do you trust them? And I say, oh yeah, I trust that they're going to do what is in their best interest for themselves because let's be clear, we're not selfless. We're not Mother Teresa's out here. We're going to make sure we're good first before we take care of other people. It's just the way of life. And I love that you talked about the weight loss journey because I find that a lot of people, especially women, we struggle with this topic, right? So I have a question for you. For people that are trying to focus more on the journey, not the destination, they're saying, okay, Rob's saying pay attention to these small victories along the way. What happens? What is your advice for people who feel stuck? They're waiting for that big moment. They're even waiting for that small victory to come, right? And it's depressing. It's sad. It's glum. What advice would you give them to help them find joy as their way, not even to the destination, but to those small victories?
I would say this. This is not an easy task, but like it's something that's achievable by everybody, I think. Is change your life algorithm. Change your life algorithm. I receive so much input about like growth and change and small victories, big victories. I watch a lot of YouTube. There's a lot of channels that I follow that put me on a different wavelength of thinking, and so I always tell people to change their life algorithm because like if you're stuck, I'll give you an example. I just came across this video earlier. So Matthew McConaughey was doing this interview about changing his persona for his typecast from rom-com to drama and more serious roles. And once he decides that he wanted to do that, he's like, I'm not going to do any more rom-coms. So he's telling these people in the interview that, for like 6, 8, 10 months, no one was hitting him up for any roles. Like he didn't have nothing. And then like a rom-com came out and they were offering him like $10 million. And then he turned it down and he's like $12.45 million. They came back to him like 3 or 4 more times with a higher number. And then he just immediately turned down all the offers. And during the interview, he talked about for 6 to 10 months, he got no offers because he's looking for a more serious role. And then he got an offer for a rom-com, a couple of more rom-coms after that. But I want to say it was roughly about 20, 22 months before he started getting the roles that he wanted. And in that interview, he talked about like, even though it took him that long a time to get to that point, it took him the whole 22 months or 20 months, whatever, very long time to just debrand himself from rom-com so that he can be in that element. So, but I tell people about changing your life algorithm. Also, be patient. Be patient. Like, life is not going to give you what you want tomorrow. It's not, especially if you're not working for it. Think about how many people go out and play the lotto and how many people don't win. Now, with that being said, think about how many people who play the lotto and you don't know nothing about who won.
That's true too.
their life could have been changed for the better, but their life could have also been changed for the worse. I think, in my personal opinion, I feel like a lot of people's lives have been changed for the worse because they don't know how to handle that amount of money. They didn't work diligently from ground zero to learn how to be a financier. So when you get a lump sum of money, you become like the MC Hammer. So work diligently, and life will actually, if you put the right people in your space. But even with putting the right people in your space, learn to put yourself first. A lot of people don't. A lot of people actually are so inclined to help another person. They're like, yo, I'm so into helping people. And I always ask them, are you not people?
Again, jewels just dropping, jewel after jewel after jewel. Oh my gosh. I think you made very valid points, and I agree with you. It's really like coming down to like your mindset, and that's what I do as a mindset, realignment coach, is trying to get people to see things in a different light, and that is a struggle. When people work with me, they have to work with me. They have to sign up for either a 1 month, 3 month, or 6 month program, and the work doesn't take that long, but it's just people's resistance. It's their resistance to change and to wanting to do something positive. So I know we're coming down to the end of our time together. So sad. But I have to ask one more question. And
okay.
It's just a sum up. If people really wanted to get to know you and understand you better and how you move the way you move, I would want to ask you if you had to sum up your philosophy of life's little victories in one sentence. Right? So people can take that to remember as they go back into life and into the craziness of stuff. What would it be?
If I had to sum it up into one sentence?
Into one sentence. Your philosophy of life's little victories.
Okay. In one sentence, and I've said this a few times before, across the globe, I do not know anyone who does not enjoy music or laughter. Put a lot of that in your life.
Wow. That is amazing. Rob, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your super busy schedule and all your travels to come out here today and talk to me for this Wellness Wednesday topic. Is there a way that people can get in touch with you if people listen to this podcast and they're moved by you and they want to see what positive work you're creating in the world? How can they get a hold of you?
Yes, you can find me on TikTok. I'm on there largely under On Brand 30. It took a while to get to that name. You can find me on Instagram. I just recently started a Instagram account under that same name, On Brand 30. Largely just because I feel too many people have my personal Instagram account. I was like, we need to create a separate. So On Brand 30 on both accounts is where you can find me. And I'm just out there creating laughter, wit, and enjoy. And every now and then I have a perspective conversation with people.
I love that. Thank you so much, Rob. And definitely follow my accounts with the On Brand 30 so I can refollow it back as well. And I want to see what positive stuff you're creating. All right, sure. Guys. What an inspiring conversation for season 4, episode 3 of Wellness Wednesday on the Lotus Lounge podcast. A huge thank you to Rob B for joining me today and reminding us that it is not about the destination, it is about the journey and the little victories we celebrate along the way. Rob's message is such a powerful one. Big wins aren't always good, and small victories aren't always bad. It's really about the mindset and the framework you bring to life. Every single day offers us a lesson, and the choice is ours. Will we learn and graduate, or keep repeating the same course? I hope today's conversation inspires you to slow down, Notice your own little victories and celebrate them with gratitude, because those small wins, like Rob said, are often what carries us through. Thank you again for tuning in to Wellness Wednesday. We'll be back next week with another conversation to nourish your soul and remind you that your wellness journey is worth celebrating every step of the way. Until next time, may you keep finding joy in the journey and laughter in the little things. Bye, guys.